Hello everyone. Thank you for watching another video. I kind of wanted to pick up from where I left off one day last week whenever I made a video and I was talking about fear and how important it was to not give in to fear. You know, we can act and we can prepare and we can do whatever we need to do from like a grounded, centered place without becoming panicked, letting fear dictate our actions. And I was just talking about things like, for example, how also fear lowers your immune system, makes you more susceptible to any viruses or anything else you come in contact with. So it's important for a lot of reasons to uh, not be consumed with fear. Um, I had to deal with that a lot when I was in prison. When I did a podcast yesterday with a friend that'll be out next week. And one of the things that we were talking about is how for most people on death row, there is nothing that they ever look forward to. There is no day that they can foresee that things are ever going to get better. And when you're face to face with something like that, there's nothing you can do but either allow it to completely and absolutely control you or force yourself to get really, really still. One thing that I did learn in prison was how fear also makes people more likely to do what they're told. I think the reason for that is because most people want someone to come in and make everything okay whenever they're scared. Whenever we're scared, we automatically just start looking for something outside, saying, either the government or religion or whatever it is. We want somebody to tell us something that alleviates that fear because it's so unbearable living in that fearful state all the time. The guards in prison, they would try to keep up like this atmosphere, this low level fear in both prisoners and the family members who would come visit the guys on death row. They used to, anybody that would come see you, they would harass them, make their lives generally miserable because they don't want anyone coming there to the prison. They don't want anyone coming to see you. Part of the reason that they could get away with basically terrorizing people was because everyone knew that if you challenged the administration in any way whatsoever, you were going to pay for it. They used to even punish me for doing interviews. I was doing interviews with local media and national media just about my case, nothing to do with the prison at all, and they would still a lot of times make my life even more difficult because the way they saw it was that I am just bringing more attention onto the system. What I did learn about fear is that you can't fight it. You can't forcefully make yourself stop feeling it or battle it in some way because you're really just fighting against your own body's chemistry. What I learned to do to cope with it was to feel it. You're going to feel the fear, but you don't have to get attached to it. You just sort of let it go through you. You register its presence. You bring your conscious attention to the fact that you are experiencing fear. Whenever you make yourself start to realize that, and it won't happen overnight. You have to do this. You have to practice it a lot. It won't happen, all at one time, but it is a gradual process. You will start to notice, like earlier and earlier in the process, whenever you are starting to slip into the state of fear. Eventually, you'll even get to the point where you realize you're about to slip into the state of fear, and you can catch it before it even happens. What happens whenever you catch it like that, whenever you start to notice it, what you are doing is bringing something out of your unconscious and into your conscious mind. You are becoming conscious of something you are starting to see a process happening within yourself that up until that point you were completely unconscious of. Whenever the fear would kick in, you would immediately give into the fear and let it start having profound effects on the way you think. Whenever you notice it, whenever you start to become conscious of the process when it's going on in you, you can start to exert a little more and a little more and a little more control over it as time goes by and you put more and more work into the process. You know, you have to do it. You have to actually work at it to get better at it. But it is possible to get really, really good at it. Whenever you bring it from your unconscious mind into your conscious mind, what also happens is, you know, anytime you're feeling something, or anytime, like say fear, an overwhelming burst of fear, your body is also releasing chemicals at the same time. That's a huge part of what you're feeling. You know, you're feeling adrenaline surges and all sorts of hormones going into fight or flight mode. Whenever you start to catch it before you slip into it and start engaging in all the fearful fantasies and thoughts and everything else, you also stop that process of those chemicals being released into your bloodstream. One of the things also that I learned, I want to go into a few of the exercises that I would do to help with this process in future videos. And that's why magic was so important to me, is because that's what ceremonial magic is. It is ritualistic actions that allow you to become conscious of a lot of unconscious things and exert more control over yourself. A lot of times people will take, in ceremonial magic, they'll take a motto to remind them of something, to inspire them in some sort of way. And I am sorry, my brain just completely went dead. I forgot what we were talking about. Give me a second. I cannot remember. I lost it. But what I will tell you is, just like on the physical level, whenever our glands release all of these hormones and chemicals into our bloodstream, on the energetic, or what in magic is called the astral level of reality, you have energy centers that are releasing energy. Like in the East, they call them chakras. You have these energy centers that release these tiny bursts of energies, and depending on what kind of energy it is, that will dictate which chakra it is exploding out of. Whenever you catch your thoughts going that way, it stops your emotions from going that way, and whenever your emotions don't go that way, then the chakras don't pump out that energy either. So you stop all of those tiny explosions of fearful energy that sort of precede the body chemistry that follows. Whenever that happens, you gradually just start letting the fear pass through you more and more, if that makes any sense. That's the closest I can come to articulating it. One other thing that I wanted to mention really quickly, somebody sent me I get all kinds of crazy stuff over the internet every day, people sending me stuff, but somebody sent me something that was kind of interesting. It was a memo of some sort about how we should be drinking at all times, drinking water, because it keeps your throat wet. And if your throat gets dry, whenever you swallow, you create tiny tears in the tissue, and that allows viruses and bacteria easier access into your throat. So you shouldn't even wait until you get thirsty. You should be drinking water at all times. I don't know for 100% fact that helps, and like I said, I get crazy stuff all the time, but this seemed like something that was really helpful to me, at least. I mean, it made sense to me, so maybe it'll make sense to you. And if not, I mean, even if there is nothing behind it virus-wise, it still makes you generally overall healthier to stay well hydrated. Okay, guys, please bear with me whenever I have these lapses in memory, whenever I forget what I'm talking about. It is part of being in solitary confinement for so long. I still am dealing with a lot of trauma from that. That's taking quite a while to get over. Uh, Neither here nor there. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that wherever you are safe and happy. And again, thank you very much for being with me. And I will keep you posted on that upcoming podcast. I'll let you know whenever that's coming out. Thank you guys and have a good day.